sit.
Thank you.
Come join us. The whole crew is basically here. We had some time, so I'll kick off with the first question, which is actually when I saw the movie, it was totally different. But as I said, I pitched it as a Serbian memento. Where did you get the idea of this flashback?
So I would say that the idea came from sort of a very personal direction. Everybody keeps repeating, and it's true actually, that the film falls into the subgenre, sort of a Groundhog Day subgenre. But the idea actually came to me really maybe even 7 years ago or something like that. And it didn't go from that direction. It sort of came from the direction of wanting to make a story about a young man or a young person trying to figure out his way in life. If that doesn't sound too pretentious, but it's really a story about coming to terms with sort of the oldest stories that try to tackle the question of meaning or a deeper meaning of sort of our existence are the stories that sort of try to face death. So I try to package his quest for deeper meaning in a sort of a very visceral chase with death. so it's sort of that kind of. It went from that direction, and then I was really inspired by actually, and this is also going to sound really pretentious, but I was inspired by Eastern philosophy and stuff like that, and the way they sort of try to cope or to face death was really interesting to me, and I wanted to basically to, I mean, Incarnation is the title of the film, and so yeah, those are some of the inspirations for it. So it didn't go from the genre direction or from the movie direction, and it went from sort of that kind of direction. Yeah.
I'll ask the question to your main character now. We had a longer chat outside, and you said that Philip had this very clear vision, how he wanted the movie. He had everything in his head, storyboarded. I was surprised that it was not filmed with 5-6 cameras. It was actually filmed with one camera over 3 years continuously. So this guy has a matrix in his head, or I don't know, just
he have a quantum brain.
So how was all that running and everything that you had to go through, and how was
maybe the running was the hardest part of shooting, because it's physically it's hard, you know. It's running. I think when we until we started shooting today, I ran over 2 marathons just in shooting. Certainly 2 marathons, but that was the hardest part. Everything else was going really easy because Philip got some really nice directions to the actor. He knows what he wants, and he knows what he wants to see, and he helped me a lot about that, because after 3 years of shooting, you don't know, well, is this second, third, fourth, first time of walking up on the bench, you know, and come here and tell me everything about before, everything about later, and I said, okay, it's fine, do your thing, okay, do your thing, and that was the greatest, that was the really easy part of the shooting. Yeah, the running was the hardest, because shoes and because of the main street in Belgrade where we're shooting. We have one anecdote when pretty big bald guy tried to be good Samaritan, I don't know the word, because he tried to tackle me. He saw the 4 masked guys chasing me, and instead to help me, he tried to tackle me. So I was in the middle of the air. Oh, stop! We are shooting the movie. So that was the hardest part, honestly.
Okay. Apart from this, is a truly independent movie. Yeah, basically you had to find all the money, and Raindance is all about independence and being
Yes.
discovered, and this is your debut and all that. Talk to me about all the obstacles that you had to go through in Belgrade and Petrovaradin, I think so, and you had to have a really clear vision about all this, because this is kind of unique. It's a story. When I was watching it first time, I was thinking, just no name character, make it universal, and it works in every kind of level. Was that all the time you're?
Yeah, well, the big obstacle, the more time passes, I sort of realized that one of the biggest obstacles of making this kind of film in Serbia is that it's completely different from the other sort of types of films that are being made. So, and the story is really risky in the sense that when you read the script, you sort of don't know that will it work, because it's really an introspective sort of specific narrative. So it was the whole idea for the film was probably also an obstacle to make this kind of film in Serbia. With all due respect to other films in Serbia, later we'll see the Train Driver's Diary, which I think is really great, one of the best Serbian films in years. So and it falls, so sort of that film falls in sort of is a Serbian film. It falls in those, and so it was probably. But I also heard that they made that film for 7 years. So maybe in Serbia it's hard to make a feature film because there's not a lot of money, and especially because I don't have the formal filmmaking background in terms of I graduated from the Faculty of Mathematics on the theoretical mathematics section, sort of section of the faculty. Yeah, and it was, and I did it sort of in parallel with developing this film. So it was really a challenge to try to put the whole. I never tried to sort of get into formal education for a filmmaker because I'm maybe a bit masochistic, but yeah, that was the other challenge, and then sort of the number of locations that we needed for this to tell this story was a huge challenge because, and all of those locations are really difficult to adapt for film shooting. So it was really a combination of a lot of obstacles that sort of resulted in the film being shot for three summers. Yeah, and we shot some interiors in between those main sort of shooting blocks of exteriors in the summers, and yeah, so those were the main obstacles. Yeah.
I'll open it to the audience. I have tons of other questions, but yeah, all the way at the back.
I have to say it's one of the best films I've seen this year at the festival. Probably one of the top 2 films I've seen.
Thank you
And the
so
acting's
much.
very good as well.
Thank you.
I've made something over 3 years before as well, and continuity is an absolute pain trying to remember. But I'm curious, did you get permission to go around shooting guns off of the street? Because I can imagine in Serbia, masked men running around with guns, and I love that the guy actually was helping the masked guy tackle you.
That's the Serbia, you know.
It scares me. I mean, those two questions. I mean, how was the continuity? Because I did notice running with the brick, running without the brick a couple of times. But other than
Really?
that-
Okay. I hate you.
I'm thinking
I can-
continuity. Bring him to the bench, not under the bench.
Yeah.
It's me being picky, but
No. It's,
how hard was that to keep trying to remember the continuity? Because I've got that problem. And the gun thing, how did you run around shooting guns off in Belgrade?
Okay, well, the continuity was the hardest. Sven already talked about the continuity on the main location, which is the bench, sort of square location. It was really hard because we didn't film the whole thing in that order. It was really sort of a weird puzzle to make. So we had some sort of, you do the camera setup for the one waking up in the third section of the film, and then you sort of do that shot, and then because of the shooting plan, it's reasonable to do the same shot from the same setup that is planned. The whole sort of, all the shots were planned in advance. So we do the 6th time he wakes up, and it's the same setup. So then we have to sort of talk about all the things that went in between, and then Stone is really confused, and I'm trying to be not that confused, and then, but we sort of went through it that way. So that sort of the static locations were the most difficult for the continuity, and the running stuff is much easier for continuity because the background and everything is also changing all the time, and when you're standing in one place for 6 shots or for 10 shots of the final edit, you have to watch out for the people in the background. Are they sort of the same? And actually, Igor, the AD, who is now filming me talk about this, who is in the second row, did a great job with handling the extras, the crowd, and making sure that sort of those background extras are also the character in the film, and their reactions are. So sometimes those were real passersby, sometimes there were actual extras that were directed by the first assistant director Igor. Sometimes we added people in post-production. So the first time they started shooting at him, we added a bunch of people in an otherwise empty shot that we closed off because we couldn't create panic in that sort of space. One of those people is me. I shot myself running on the key. And sometimes we deleted some people in the post-production that were looking at the camera or sort of like that. And actually, yeah, we did have permissions to shoot in Belgrade, and it was really hard to get them. But we had one time when we filmed in a specific, so we ran out of streets in the center of Belgrade. So we had to find the streets that resemble those streets in sort of more peripheral parts of the town. And we found one street, and we went there we had permission to shoot, and it was a really foggy day. So we missed that day, and we shot the next day without permission. And it's one of the biggest chases in the film. It was shot without permission, and there were some sort of policemen arrived, but it went okay. So that's it.
Another question. Did you have a different ending by any chance? Did you have a couple different endings? Because I wasn't sure about that ending. I was thinking, I'm sitting here thinking, did he have a different ending that he couldn't shoot, or?
Actually,
Blu-ray will be available soon with an extra.
The other ending will be available. No, it was the original ending. It was, I would say, we shot something with the kids that talk to him during the film. That was sort of an epilogue. That was really 2 or 3 shots. You can see them in the final shot, the final wide shot. You can see them running around. We sort of elaborated that moment with some. They were playing a game, and so we wanted to make a sort of an epilogue to the story that was cut out because it lost. The main impact was in the empty bench, and yes, that was the ending that was planned from. I was sort of made the story around that ending, if it makes sense. It's really a risky ending. I wanted to make, when we were talking about the subgenre of Groundhog Day films, at the end of those films, the protagonist always gets out of the loop and gets to live another day, and sort of gets to live has a happy ending of living through the next few hundred days he has left in his. I don't know how many people live, but I wanted to sort of invert or make an inverted story where the ending is sort of twisted in a way that I haven't seen before in that subgenre, and it meant a lot to me in regards regarding the sort of main theme of the film, which is connected to those stuff that is pretentious that I mentioned before. Yeah.
True independent approach, very unique brain of thinking. Anybody else? Yeah.
I love the film. It was awesome. I was
Thank you.
curious about your influence and the idea about the masks that they all wore. I mean, I liked it as a visual image because it gave it this kind of creepy, ominous feeling. But I noticed there was a connection maybe between how he can't see his reflection and the mask itself. Was there something that influenced that design that you wanted to use, or?
Well, the design, I would say, it's great. It's great observation because we talked about when he sees his distorted reflections. We talked about we wanted even to insert a sort of a part of the mask being seen in the distortion. So sort of it distorts and you see the mask on his face and then it disappears to sort of foreshadow the reveal. But we didn't do that, so it was, you spotted it really, really good. The design of the masks was inspired by sort of a Greek, ancient Greek theater masks, and they were done by a guy who makes masks in Knez Mikhailova, and yeah, on the street, and his name is Bojan Zanoshkar, and he, I sort of talked to him about, I wanted that sort of a simple look of the assassin. I didn't want the masks to have too much of a stylized look or something, and we sort of only talked about the type of character each assassin was. So we sort of wanted to make them slightly different, and so it was, we went that sort of, that was the direction we went from. So yeah, I hope it answers the question.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
Yeah, if they have if they hadn't had the masks, then they recognized me without the mask because I was part of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. And also the guys that played the assassins had a really, the main two guys, the main two guys are called Stan Zandor and Dacia Vidasaljevic, and they're actually identical twins, 2 meters high, and they look like Vikings or something. Without masks, they look great, much better than Stoyan and me. But they sort of, and the other two guys are played by Vidan Dujanovic and Bogdan Petrovic, and they also did a great job. But they did all their stunts, and they're great physical actors. But also they had really. It was really a challenge to make those assassins sort of be that scary and to function as that kind of a deep threat. And I talked with them a lot about that, and we designed the way they moved and the way they breathe, and sort of it was really a primal performance they gave, and it sort of gets overlooked because of the fact that you can't see their faces. But I think it's really. It was a big challenge for us to make. They were maybe the biggest challenge of the film, to make them look really, really scary. I don't know, maybe there's a better word, but scary is. I don't know. It's not like a horror film. Yeah, deeply frightening. Yeah. So I hope it works to some extent. Yeah, I think we did a solid job with that.
I just have one more question. How do you guys know each other? What's your history?
Us two?
Yeah.
Stoyan we met through this film. Actually, Stoyan studied acting maybe Stoyan can talk about how we met.
So the story goes, I'm on the faculty of dramatic, I finished the faculty of dramatic arts in Belgrade, and one day I think I was the 4th year of faculty, something like that. It was summer or maybe something like that. It was very warm day. We were rehearsing something, and some guy with a beard and his backpack and with a camera went in and said, "Can I should photograph you?" Okay, why? I got some film. Okay, we are actors. You got film. Great job. And when he told me that he wanted me, and we arranged a meeting, he sent me the script, and I was a little bit lazy at that period, so 15 minutes before the meeting I take the script, but I devour 54 pages in 11 minutes. So that brought me to work with him, and when we met, I said, okay, so Philip, tell me about this ending, tell me about this, and tell me about that, and on every question he had I think at least 3 prepared answers, and every answer was possible, was legit, and it was that. And we shared a similar background. He was and he still is a great mathematician. I was a young physicist, so we both were young scientists and something like that. And we also are something like a gamers, but that is in the past. So I understand his language. I understand what he wants to tell me even without words. So we met like that, and after the shooting, and we are now friends, not just colleagues, we are friends. So because of that silver background, it was much easier to work and much easier to know him, because he sometimes can be really hard. You know, when you tell, when a mathematician shoots the movie, when you tell actor in the total, you know, the wide shot, Stoyan just move, I think 3 millimeters left. Okay. No. 1 millimeter, right? Oh, okay, that's perfect. And when you done that in the running scene, 25 times over, you can kill him. But after you saw what he take for the movie, yeah, it's different. It makes a difference. That 3 millimeters in the wide shoot. So he's a great guy. Yeah.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Just a pretty simple question. My understanding of the end was that the main character finally accepted the fact that he doesn't have to run, that accepted his fate, and that's why he didn't wake up again in the loop.
Yes.
But was there anything with the guys recognizing him, or would you like explain a little more the ending, like from there?
That's the
or-
story of the sequel.
Well, yeah. They were. Yeah, they were chasing him.
Don't tell them about the sequel, not yet.
No, but there's sort of a concrete thing. Yeah, they were chasing him because he was running away from them, and the moment that he sat down, one of the four guys recognized that it was him, and it would, if the third time he woke up, if he sat down, probably the same thing would happen, because the sixth time, at the sort of the end of the sixth waking up, we sort of tried to show that one of the guys sort of had some sort of a closer connection to him than the other guys. So the meaning of that would be that the moment he stopped running, that's the moment when they stopped chasing, and they actually realized that he was the fifth one, and then sort of it's all solved. He sort of ended the cycle, and so he's presented with the final choice: will he come back and be one of the five of them, and maybe start everything all over again, or is there something else? So to me, the ending for me is not sort of a down ending. It's for me, I try to make sort of a up down ending, sort of ambiguous ending, because I don't know. The whole story was conceived with that ending in mind. The empty bench, for me, represents that sort of higher consciousness that we arrive at when we sort of come to terms with our mortality, maybe, or with our connectedness with everything else around us. So and also the way I'm trying to say this and not sound too pretentious, but the way it was designed is to really explicitly make his death be his plan, and not something that sort of to show that
His choice.
yeah, no, but we try to make the story that shows that sort of the complexity of death as a sort of I don't know how to say it, but when you look at it the other way, the death could be also birth or something. You know, we want to show that death isn't it's maybe the wrong, when you see the world from the wrong perspective, you get maybe entangled in the idea that you're going to die or something. But when you look at it from the other perspective, maybe sort of there's some other kind of way of looking at it.
Higher plane, or another.
Yeah.
Another ending. Or escape.
Yeah, I really don't like to talk about these kinds of things, because I sort of hope that the film communicates, maybe subconsciously, something like that. But yeah, that's probably.
One last question, because we have another screen. We have at the back, and then, yeah. So.
Yeah, thank you. It was really, really refreshing to see this type of a movie coming out from Serbia, considering we had so many
Thank
war
you.
movies and things that are very dark. I really like that you had subliminal messages, that you made us think, that it wasn't straightforward, the masks worked really well. And I was just wondering what kind of reception you received in Serbia and the region, because it's very unusual for something like this to come out and, you know, to have the stage where it would work well here, no problem, but was the reception as you had hoped in Serbia?
Well, yeah, sort of. I'll try. Yeah, it's a great question. The reception was better than I expected. Actually, we had the first festival in Serbia was Cinema City, and it's a festival in Novi Sad, and we had three jam-packed screenings, and those were young people that watched the film, and a lot of them really liked it. There are people who question it and who even hate it, I think, especially in Serbia, but sort of that was sort of expected, and I sort of respect all of the opinions around the film. I like talking about the film with people that don't like it, so it's maybe I'm a masochist here, but yeah. I don't know, it's better than I expected. It's sort of, I don't know, I think people in Serbia like all kinds of things in terms of the audience, but the industry doesn't provide. Maybe people making films are a bit scared to make something that is that's not sort of severely local. I don't know how to say it, but I was talking about the film Train Driver's Diary. That's really sort of surprised me, because that's really a also universal story, but it's closer to the local cinema there, but sort of gets up. So I don't know. We have. I think that in Serbia there are great films in Serbia, and in film history in Serbia there are really great films. So I don't know. That's. I don't know. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations, lovely.
Thank you.
I visited Belgrade a couple of years back, so it was nice to see that. There were fewer guns and running around when I was there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's next for both of you? Obviously, you're still kind of dealing with this, but do you have an idea of kind of a next project as well?
Yeah, well, I'm developing my second feature for the past 2 years. When you're doing the first feature film, you have a lot of time in your hands, because the post-production was really hard and really long. So actually, I have a complete story, and I'm developing the script now, and I'm sort of deep in it's completely different from this film on all levels. It has a sort of a strong love story element in the story. So I don't know. It's I like doing different things, and everybody keeps asking me, "Are you going to do another sort of an action thriller, mystery or stuff?" I mean, no. The next film won't be a thriller. Yeah, it will be completely different from this. But and I don't know. We'll see. I'm sort of you learn through your first film. You learn that you can't sort of beat stuff with a stick. You have to let it grow. And currently, I am sort of working on the plans of my next feature film. So yeah, and.
Okay. I've became a father a year and a half ago, so that's my main cause in life for now. But I'm an active actor, more in theater than on the big screen. I shoot some big screen things in Serbia also, but this film, I think it's my best opportunity to show international audience what can I do and what can we do in Serbia without any budgets. And this film is, I think, the best opportunity for me till now, because it's a film with atmosphere without dialogues. It's just the eyes, it's just the little movements, twitches, and it's everything inside, you know. And if you can show that to the audience, in theater it's easier. For the big screen, it's a lot harder But I think if I succeed here in London, that will be a great opportunity to me. So I hope next job, this will help me for the next job.
I just hope that we don't have to wait 3 more years for the next project.
Yeah.
And that you're gonna be back
I
on
also,
Raindance.
I can't describe how much I hope.
Congratulations all over again. Philip is
Thank you.
here.
And thank you, everyone. Thank you. I hope it was okay.